Why do we push love away without even realizing it? The other day, I had a conversation with a colleague of mine who also works as a psychologist. We started talking about the love, relationships, and how many of our patients are having struggles with it. And we reached an agreement that today love feels a bit strange. A lot of young people want connection. They want love, closeness, and understanding. But at the same time, they also pull away from it. The strange thing is that desire for love is still there, but fear has taken root in our hearts. Part of this fear comes from the world around us. People worry about money, stability, the political situation, and whether building a safe life is even possible right now. When the future feels so uncertain, opening your heart can feel risky. But there is also another kind of fear, a more personal one. The fear of being hurt, the fear of not being understood and rejected. When trust in other people becomes weaker, putting yourself out there starts to feel more dangerous. And so we isolate ourselves. Sometimes fear becomes normal without even noticing it. I saw this in my own life. I slowly stopped wanting to go out. It felt easier to stay at home. I would read, play video games, and distract myself with easy pleasures. At first, there was a simple explanation. I was just tired from work. And when I did go out, I just usually didn't enjoy it much. So, why not even put in the effort? But without noticing it, my life became monotone. Work, home, eat, sleep, repeat. At first, it felt comfortable. It felt safe. But over time, it slowly started to turn into isolation. When you spend more and more time disconnected from other people, something slowly begins to change. I started to become more judgmental, more distant. I started making assumptions with an anxious mind. I started overreading small gestures and what they meant in regards to me. And then I also started to become angrier. And it is important to understand that anger is just fear, wearing a mask. Fear, although feels small and vulnerable, and anger feels powerful, but underneath, the fear is still there. It gives energy to attack the problems, but it does not solve the real problems. So I had to take a long look at myself and figure out what is really happening to me, that I'm so quick to ignore, and why do I feel the need to distract myself from the part that I don't wish to see. For me, when I started to look deeper into myself, I could see the pattern becoming clear. I had learned to reject people before they could reject me. I pulled away from others to protect myself. I kept distance so I would not feel unwanted. Underneath that behavior was a painful belief. I believed that I was not worthy of love unless other people constantly proved it to me. I wanted signs that I mattered. I wanted proof that I was important. And when I did not get that proof, the belief that I was not worthy grew stronger, and my self-esteem went down. It felt like a confirmation that something was wrong with me, that I needed to become someone who was worthy of love, and that just me wasn't enough. But those beliefs rarely appear suddenly. They build slowly over the years. Small traumas, disappointments, misunderstandings start forming a story about who I thought I was. Without realizing it, I kept reinforcing that story. The hardest part is that these patterns can stay hidden for a long time, especially when your connection with yourself is shallow. For a long time, I lived mostly in my head. I focused on how I looked to other people, how I appeared, and how I could seem better than I felt inside. The more I searched for value outside of myself, the emptier I felt, and the more I tried to distract myself from it. But things started changing when I began doing deeper inner work. For me, it was breathing exercises, meditations, and professional help that helped me bring many of these patterns to surface. They started to show me how much my self-worth had been tied to other people's reactions. They also showed me something important. I had been living from fear. Once I see that clearly, something begins to shift. What matters most to me now is learning how to stay true to myself. Not performing, not chasing approval, not trying to earn my place in every room. Instead, I ask a different question. What happens if I stop trying to distract myself and work on really getting closer to my true self? These questions changed how I see relationships. Love stopped being something I chased. It became something to share. And the growth was not always dramatic. Sometimes it felt really small. It was this one time signing up for a breathwork class. It was this one time learning meditation. It was this one time letting myself be myself without controlling the outcome. You do not need to change your life in one day. You only need to take one small step outside of your comfort zone. That is how fear slowly loses its power. Not all at once, but little by little. Thank you for watching.